Look at that, Esther's. You are great. Thumbs up. So now you can talk to your friends around, and the master says, you are great. Thumbs up. So please bring out your cell phone. Then you can send all your friends and families the good news and share the study group information with them. Invite your friends and relatives to come over and learn, get online together. Today we're going to read March 1st to March 31st, Master's Footprint. Next week, next, let's believe that we all have potential. Mutually encourage and keep about key. Constantly listen to things, believe in our intrinsic potential, diligence, and potential aspirations. Masters start by if we are misunderstood by others, it's because we haven't talked about Siji enough. We always just do it, and now we need to take opportunities to share things done, to say good words, that can pass down, and only beauty we work out. So let's go and enjoy the fun of studying, and let's go enjoy the studying and gather together with the Dharma. Now we have English interpretation from any this team, the first US team. Now let's think the English A team who are interpreting today. So Master says, everyone together, then everyone is a team. The group force, every member, every team's first force come from the group. Let us know where you are. Please. Last week we had 241 messages and 119 transfers. So I really appreciate the comments and messages from all over the world. So good response and feedback. See, these are comments and encouragement from Chinese family and friends. So this is from Changchun, Sister Liu, a poem describing what, what she enjoyed from the study group. And her sister Janet Yao says, Teacher Mei is caring about Chinese members and families and all the good effects shows the respect and gratitude and love. Yeah, this study group has is full with positive energies. We can all feel it. And these are feedbacks about the speakers last week. The CEO from the New York office, Brother Sue. Uh, so these are sisters from Shenyang. And here are comments about Brother Xu. Mm. And yeah, Brother Xu, your contents are so inspiring and your delivery are so humorous. These are feedback from Beijing volunteers, Brother Gan. Sharing to the about sister. So what's mm, oh yeah, sister and regrets about the past mistakes and Sister Chen is so wonderful. And Sister Wang from Weihai also appraised how wonderful Sister Chen speech was. And Sister was so brave to repent in front of so many people and also be very grateful about her co-workers. And this is comment about the entrepreneurs. Today we also have two entrepreneurs to share with us. And, and these are feedbacks from Singapore and Malaysia family members. So thanks to Chen Hui and all the others. Thank you so much for your feedback. So also please let all your friends and families know about this study group so we can all enjoy and learn together. These are comments from Canadian family members and from the US, from Taiwan, and from China. Please let us know where you are by sending us your feedback and comments. And thanks to 北京、石家庄、长春、西安、云南 volunteer to here. And more comments from mainland China. And these are English channel feedback. Mm. So we can feel all the positive energies from these comments and feedback. Thank you so much. Yeah. So thanks to Effie for always giving us positive encouragement. I love to be with you because you have positive energy. And these are feedback from the speakers last week. Why do we have this? Mm, mm. We really appreciate Master. Master talks about our group is to write down our thoughts, learn the Dharma, and after we learn the good teachings, we can say kind words and we can write good articles. So thanks to Master for giving us the blessings. So originally I was thinking maybe we wait until we are 10 years old to write our history, but now we are collecting our records little by little. So these are feedback from the speakers, Brother Xu and Sister Chen. They really appreciate the warm receiving of speakers by the Kaohsiung team. And they really appreciate the Kaohsiung team cooperate so well and everyone is doing their responsibilities to the fullest potential. And Brother Sue from New York included his wife here because just for the 7 minutes presentation, he practiced with his wife so many times in order to make it exactly 7 minutes. And he was very impressed. That first time he was there early years ago, and people were busy, so he was just walking outside. And next time, the Kaohsiung team started to take care of the speakers. Yeah. Then Brother Wu shared his experience in Jordan. And he said he was originally very nervous, but yeah, but once he started, he felt that in Kaohsiung, he felt at home, very warm and very happy. Now we're going to start the calling out. We are going to call Cambodia. And
so you can actually see in the video that folks are using these plastic bottles as their bamboo banks. And in one of these distributions, you can also see how everyone is joined together in sincere prayer. So let's actually also take a look at another video here where a princess of Cambodia joined one of the distribution events held by Tzu Chi. And she even joined everyone at the event in prayer. And she actually speaks 5 different languages. So for that event in particular, the princess took the initiative on her own to join the event. She said that she wanted to come. So whether it was the princess or the officials at the event or even the recipients at the event, everyone collectively shared their love in the form of little donations, understanding that our collective little donations together can make a large impact. And this volunteer here speaks about how this is creating a cycle of love that we really need all around the world right now. And then this next video right here, you can actually see these little vehicles that are called tuk-tuks, which are kind of like little cabs, if you will, that are common in Cambodia. So some of the drivers here are talking about how many of these tuk-tuk drivers' income have significantly dropped in the pandemic, and they already have to pay the lease fee for those tuk-tuks on a monthly basis. And now with the reduced income, they struggle to even survive. And so there was a distribution event that Tzu Chi held specifically to support these drivers. Now this next video right here, this shows how our volunteers in Cambodia sent ventilators to a local hospital that was desperately in need of these devices. So this volunteer is sharing that the hospital told them, hey, we're taking all the COVID-19 precautions that we can, but we really need ventilators. And so the volunteers collected donations and collected our resources to send the necessary devices to that hospital. And if you think about it, these ventilators, they really could have been the result of each one of us giving a little bit of our love through our little donations. And that collective effort enabled our volunteers to acquire the necessary ventilators for those in need. So here in this next video, you can see that Tzu Chi is working with another local NGO to hold the distribution event. So this Tzu Chi volunteer is representing Tzu Chi and representing Master in sharing our care and support for the locals. There really are a lot of different videos and content available on our volunteers and our efforts in Cambodia. And so even beyond the session today, you can always feel free to go back and refer to these videos. Now this video right here, you can see that we're in the capital of Cambodia, Phnom Penh. And initially you would think that, oh, hey, in the capital, folks are probably better off. They're probably living in better conditions. But even then you can see here people who are living in these makeshift homes made of sheet metal and bamboo and wooden boards. Really a lot of residents, especially in the poor areas, still live in very difficult positions. And so Tzu Chi held distributions to provide essential food and resources like rice and oil, bread, and even blankets and cloth masks. So then let's think a little bit. Have we ever had our Cambodian volunteers join us in this call or in these weekly book studies? And the answer is yes, many years ago. And here they are joining us again today. So, this is a brief recap of back when our Cambodian volunteers joined us many years ago. Now today we have 2 volunteers joining us from Cambodia, and let us welcome them to share with us. All right, let's welcome our volunteers from Cambodia, Brother Mingxun and Sister Mei Ling. Good morning, everyone. We're so happy to be able to join you today in this book study. Many times we feel that, man, we're not doing enough. We're not doing everything we need to do. And so then we feel like maybe we don't have enough to come and share with all of you, but I'm glad to have the opportunity to come share today. So actually, Siji, for us, we actually joined many years ago when there was a business seminar held by one of the Siji volunteers, and that was how we got connected to the organization. And as I joined a few of the volunteer camps, I was very touched, and that is what really got me more involved in Siji. There were people who maybe said to me in the earlier days who said, even someone like you can join Siji, make sure you don't embarrass our organization. And then for me personally, I was thinking, as long as I have the heart, I see so many people doing the work of Siji, and I also want to be someone like that. And so I want to make sure that I have the right aspirations and put forth the right action. And in that way, I think I can be a Siji volunteer and I can correct a lot of my habits or a lot of my tendencies that perhaps are not positive and ideal. And slowly over the years, I have continued to improve myself. Now, in some of our earlier events, I really learned what it means to uh, recognize your blessings, to cherish your blessings, and then to create blessings. In seeing so many people suffering, I started to realize how fortunate I was, how blessed I was. And so here today, I'd like to share a few stories with you. So I'm so grateful to our volunteers here in Cambodia. We have all grown together. Without them, there's no way that I alone or we alone would be able to do it. And many of the volunteers, just like me, we kind of just walked into Tsuji without necessarily understanding everything yet. But really, our mentality is just as Tsuji and Master say, if it's the right thing to do, just do it. And so it's just all about taking action as opposed to thinking too much, because sometimes when you think too much, that actually stops you from taking any action at all. And so slowly we start to share with our volunteers everything that Siji is about. It's not just charity, but it's also education. It's not just education, but also medical, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and so we really all feel so blessed to be able to contribute to Siji. And of course, we're also grateful to the foundation in Taiwan and volunteers all around the world for always supporting our efforts in Cambodia, whether it is um, free clinics or other efforts. We've always been very supported by Siji family all around the world. Now, it may not be showing right now on screen, but there's a picture of us having done a free clinic a number of years back. And you can see myself in the back, or a couple of us in the back, and maybe it looked like we didn't know what we were doing. But then many years later, we took another similar photo, and you could see that the volunteers really were in a place where they knew what they were doing and were much more experienced now. So again, I'm so thankful for everyone's support to let us, especially amidst the pandemic right now, to be able to continue helping the people who really need help. And now I'd like to ask Sister Mei Ling to come share as well. Hi, everyone all around the world.
在做工，员工就来了，员工就来了。没声音了。那是现场的啊。有了有，两个都有。我看他讲话。有了 ，OK。那个就是刚刚不能点那个，直接点那个 AV 那个。五千。重音对不对？重音啊，但是有大小声啊。如果是大小声就正常，那如果没有大小声，是我们这边的声音呢？没有翻译的声音。有了。怎么声音出去了？我们如果听到我们的声音，声音出去了。Jack 在翻译呢。
they may end up be on ventilators. So they decided to use localized anesthesia, but because of that, they have to work against the clock because the vitals are very unstable. So you can see Superintendent Lin decided to take on this challenge, and that's just so that to give the grandma the best available care. We can see that even when she was discharged from the hospital, the volunteers and the doctors would still go and visit her to make sure that she is well taken care of. Now, this award is, even though this is the first award, there were also many awards given to the nursing home. Even in 2017, we were receiving awards. And we have taken these people who needed the nursing care and keep them in our institution. Now, one thing I want to mention that Superintendent Lin is an anesthesiologist. But we can see that he also had a title for quality assessment, as to be in charge as a quality assessment. So we see that even as a doctor, he still has administrative roles in the hospital, in the Tzu Chi hospital. And as you know more, you may understand that you will see that before he was serving in a public hospital for 20 years. And instead of retiring, he decided to take on a different position at Tzu Chi Hospital. Now, we're not trying to keep everyone in our institution, but rather we find different ways so that they may go home. So we see our nursing home as more of a stop for their care instead of the terminal. Now, at the same time, he also is focused on healthcare promotion, like this clip here, teaching people how to prevent falls in elderly. Because in a lot of elderlies, falls could be life-threatening, and they could be causing fractures or brain injuries. Now, a lot of the falls may due to accident, but there's also issues with their balance. So, well, we will not be showing you the entire clip, but this is just showing you the message, sharing with you the message that he's trying to convey. That has been shared within our Line group and Telegram groups. Next, let's take a look in Nepal, because we all heard that there was an earthquake in Nepal in 2015. In May 3rd of 2015, the eighth day after the Nepal earthquake, these twin girls were born. And it was a very exciting moment for our medical staff to see this pair of twins joining us. So let's give a warm applause to welcome our Superintendent Lin. I want to emphasize that I'm very grateful. Now, we need to create more than 100 promotions every year for this study group. So I have contacted his secretary to get the information, and we asked him what we may need. But he has wrote all the paragraphs and material for us. I almost cried when I saw it. But then we all realized that he's actually a very good writer. So at this moment, we are very grateful to have him joining us. Now, why we have another volunteer joining us? Well, let her introduce herself. When I was joining the distribution in Jiangsu, it was 6 degrees below zero. When I was organizing the materials, I saw Dr. Lin took out his gloves and actually applying lotions to the elderly. Because of the cold weather, a lot of the elderly had freezer burns on their hand. And we can see his hands that has turned from white and turned into this gray color. But that didn't stop him. He didn't change. He didn't go wash his hands, and he just continued on, and one after another. So Dr. Lin has been a very quiet person, but his gestures, his actions are filled with love. So I'm very grateful that Sister Huiying, when was picking him up, she told me that they had this affinity, this experience. So that's why I asked her that she has to share the story with all of us. Now, before he joined Tzu Chi, he was working in a public hospital for about 20 years. And when he arrived, the superintendent Jian of the hospital told him that coming to Tzu Chi, you have to join international medical outreaches. It's part of your duty, and he did not refuse. And when he joined Tzu Chi, the Quality Assessment Center was not available. Even and about 10 years ago, when he joined, there wasn't a quality assessment protocols, but he has found a Jingsi aphorism in the warehouses, and that has really got him to be motivated. And it said that to do, then you'll get strength from doing. So that has become his motto ever since then. Now, even though he is a very quiet person, we have given him 30 minutes today, so he has to share more with us. So let's give a warm applause to Dr. Lin for joining us from Tzu Chi Taichung Hospital. Let me first express my gratitude to the Tzu Chi families from across the world. I am Dr. Ling from Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. And when they were telling me what topics I should be sharing today, I really had no idea. But after having a conversation with sister, I decided to share my thoughts from reading from readings and what I have gathered or gained from that, and also from my experience in Tzu Chi, and share with you what the relationships are. And these are my little remarks. So, like Sister Huiying shared that I am a very quiet person. It's not because I'm not really good at talking. So as a result, I naturally don't speak much. But that incident where she shared, I have already forgotten about it. So when she shared it, I actually didn't even remember. But I'm also very grateful to be here, to be in Kaohsiung, and have this affinity with this place. And from my sharing following, you can see what connections I had with Kaohsiung. Now, the topic I have shared today, let me first start from my personal experience and my experience in studying, in education, and also my relationship with Tzu Chi. About 30 years ago, this year marks the 30th anniversary of my graduation. Ever since then, I have been a clinical anesthesiologist. And I have gotten my board certification, and also for hospice palliative care, as well as sleep medicine. And from this point, it started to extend onto more terminal care or critical care, and linked that and eventually led me to the end of a life care. Now, a lot of these work were not just limited within a hospital. like for people who we spend about a third of our life sleeping. So our sleep medicine is a very important field. For the past 15 years, I have been very focused on the quality assessment as well as the hospital ranking or ratings. A lot of these are very different from clinical care. And for example, these are management of key performance index or protocols. They're not really related to caring for other people. But from there, I realized the inadequacies in my abilities. And there's an old adage said that to walk 10,000 miles, to walk 1,000 miles, you have to learn 10,000 books. So I counted and realized that I was nowhere near that. So I decided to take classes and further my education, and even even taking classes in sociology. So I realized that I have about 30 years of student or as a student. And in addition to my specialist training, I have probably read more than 10,000 books. Now, 10 years ago when I joined Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital, I remember the first time when I shared in front of Master. And I mentioned a lot about patient safety, about protocol, and my thoughts and what I would recommend. And as we all know that when you're sharing, when reporting in front of Master, everyone gets angry. Gets nervous. So when Master responded, she offered words of encouragement, and she said to take it easy. At that time, I really didn't quite understand it. Now, as I continue to focus on the field of clinical management and also performance quality assessments, we have to take a lot of effort into managing the details. As we always say, devil hides in the detail. So we get very picky on the things. But when Master said to take it easy, how do we manage to do that? Now, after my certification training, I have learned and gathered to learn more in depth about Tzu Chi's ideology and history, and I have some different thought processes. Especially when I was in the Tzu Chi hospital. Remember the first time when I was planning out the annual goals and during the meeting, I have seen that the goals of the hospital, like strategically, was to be a role model in medical humanities. Now, as we know that humanities is not an easy topic to grasp, during the process, Master's teachings has given me a different viewpoint and made me want to think on it from a different side, outside the box. So I decided to go back to school to learn learn humanities, to learn sociology. Now, we see, as you know, doctors going back to school to learn sociology is not a common path. So from there, when my thought process changed, even though my thought process changed, I still didn't quite grasp the concept about how do I carry that forward. So from the different books I have read and studied, I have picked up some topics. So I would like to share with you all from this book, which is Tzu Chi's and Beauty in Doing. And this shares about the Tzu Chi Dharma in implementing it. Now, why do we call it a study of beauty? Well, if you see a painting, if it's really nice, you would say it's beautiful. But have you ever heard that master share that seeing an elderly doing recycling work, doing environmental protection work, master will always exclaim as such a beautiful sight. So today I would like to share with you one of the doctors in a hospital with his beautiful voice. So it's a very, very beautiful voice, isn't it? And this song was about the beauty of Tzu. But what is this beauty? As we see in the documentation, by the works of the documentation team, they would always try to present the beautiful, the true side of the stories. So what is really beauty? Now, beauty has very different explanations, it's very subjective. In the Western society, they may focus more on a objective view, whereas in the Eastern culture, we're focusing more on a subjective side. As from the previous works that you may see, that paintings of people or animals in the Western cultures are very detailed oriented, whereas in the Eastern culture, it's more imaginative, more impressions. So the difference between in beauty we say that it is a distance between our own perspective. So, for example, if you have a painting of someone picking grain, the person picking the grain probably wouldn't notice themselves as being beautiful. But from people on a different perspective, they may see as a beauty. Like in Van Gogh's work, when as we all know that he all killed himself, but his works are very beautiful. But how did he end up committing suicide? Now, this may cause a difference in what you view as beauty. Like if the experience and your real life situation is if your experience is farther than your reality, then you may notice you may notice beauty more in life. As we see that beauty could be a aimless joy. So the joy in life must start within the experience within your life. So as we see, the characteristic of beauty is a aimless expression of our emotions. Because if you have a goal, if you have an aim, then you have desires, you have wish. It's just like Master has shared with us that to give selflessly and also be grateful for the opportunity. And if we're able to achieve that, then we'll have a very joyful experience. So this is how beauty is implemented in Tzu Chi. Now, when Master created the Tzu Chi, when Master created Tzu Chi, she gave everyone an area, a place for people to learn, to implement the teachings. Now, as we learn over here, Master's teaching, we pick up what she was saying, then we turn it into our daily lives. And then through doing, we awaken our thoughts, awaken our senses, and awaken our love. Now, as love awakens, then as our love awakens, then we have a different perspective, different view on life. Like one of the studies I've learned by Pierre Perdue, he has mentioned a lot about our situations. We say that the situation affects a lot of our thoughts and our behaviors. So what Perdue called it was habitus. And as we experience it, as we explain it, it's more like our habits. Now, it's very different from our daily habits or our daily routine, because habitus creates a different characteristics within us. It's not just something we do blindly, but rather it creates a definition. So from what Master has taught us is that as you implement and carry on loving other people, it starts to define us. It became a characteristics of us and giving us a completely new thought process. So what is my situation? What triggered me? Well, that's about 10 years ago when I joined Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital. Superintendent Jian keep reminding everyone to seize the opportunity. Now, if you're not in the Tzu Chi Hospital, you may only see me as an anesthesiologist that goes to work every day. Now, if I'm not really there, then there's a lot of things I could not experience myself. Like what? For example, as soon as I joined the hospital, I've taken a role in the television program introducing doctors. Now, as we all know that the program has changed a little bit, but back then it was a live program. So what is live? So you have to count the seconds because as time's up, it will end right on time. So it's a very stressful experience. Now, as the live broadcast comes to an end, I can hear the director in my headphones counting down seconds down. But as a host, I have to be able to finish my sentence. So it has taught me to be more prepared, how to express myself better within the time allotted, and how do I do a good ending. So these are things I've never experienced before. Now, with that, and because of that experience, I also was taken the role to host our year-end blessing, and that has given me some thoughts about the the spirit of Tzu Chi and also the programs of the year-end ceremony. And then I also was able to be the lead attendee for the TIMA conference, annual TIMA conference. I remember that year when I was the lead attendee, the focus of the team was carried on by Kaohsiung volunteers. So it was a truly rare opportunity. Now, especially that one year when it was about to end, we had become typhoon, and then all the students were trapped in Hualien, able to go home. So a lot of them ended up, instead of going north, they had to go through the southern end of Taiwan to return home. As a clinical doctor, this is one of my rarest or most special experience. That is the sign language interpretations of sutras. Now, that's probably not available in any other hospital. When I first had this opportunity, I always thought, like, why are we doing this? What's the point? It's just this couple sentences. Like, if we don't have, it's not that long. I will be able to memorize it just in no time at all. So why are we spending so much time trying to act it out? Now, from the study of sociology, I've got some insight. Now, as a sociologist or also a philosopher, I've always said that cognition is based on what we practice. So through the interpretation, a sign language interpretation of the sutra, we're able to learn, to know more in depth about the material. Now, it wasn't clear at that time to me, but later on, like as you're able to experience and able to really feel the material, then you're able to have a deeper insight. But it still wasn't clear at that time, so I just decided to follow it, just do it. And came up to me in about 3 steps. Through experiencing and then reenacting it. Because during the practice for the sign language, we have to keep practicing as a team. So team becomes a very important part. As a member of the team, you'll notice that everyone's all linked together. And then from there, you'll discover yourself on a higher level. And now through these practices, the sign language interpretations and doing the performance, we're able to present a beauty. Now this beauty will invoke your emotions. So as you reenact it, as you're able to recreate it, then you'll gain a realization about the materials within the sutra. So it gives the hospital staff who tend to be really focused on evidence a different perspective on what we're doing, and we're switching them from just doctors to actually Tzu Chi doctors. Now, Superintendent Jian has brought us along to do case visits and outside the hospital. Like from this picture, you can see this is from Chinese New Year when everyone's celebrating the New Year. But our activity instead were to visit the homeless or the street friends out there to see. And also we're visiting patients who were not able to leave their homes. There were also meetings that were held in the recycling stations. So, and through our cleaning or our environmental protection program, like every year we'll go to Dajia after the entourage of the religious gatherings. We were there to clean things up. Now, this is our Doctor's Day activity. Instead of eating and having parties, our activity involves cleaning the homes of one of the aid recipients Now, as we can see in this picture, this house, this is one of the house for, this is the house of one of the recipients that we visited last month. Now, when we got in, there were no lights because there's no electricity, no water. So when we walked in, we had these boots because you know that the trash is piled up to be knee high. So without these boots, you're unable to walk in there. Now, as soon as the electricity were reconnected, when the lights lit up, it was shocking sight because we saw rats the size of cats and also spiders everywhere. We were also able to clean out. We found a motorcycle in the living room that was just surrounded and buried by trash. And this is a very unusual experience. Now, a lot of hospitals may have courses that teaches compassion, but here in Tzu the superintendents will lead everyone. Now, as we all know, empathy is understanding. Now, but you see, empathy is not just understanding, but rather it should be linked to compassion. So as we say, empathy is understanding and compassion is doing something to help because you understand. Because as you understand, you're able to do other things that will help other people. So compassion, that word, the root passion, as we all know, emotions, is by doing the things that we do to do. So put our emotions in, to put our passion in there. So when all the passion join together, it becomes compassion. So throughout the years, we have different projects, like as we shared earlier, distributions in Suzhou, also in the Philippines after the Typhoon Yolanda. Like when we first got there, in the town of Tacloban, there were no electricity, no water. And there were bodies all over on the side of the road, and the whole town was entirely destroyed. Fortunately, we had the Cash for Work project, and we recruited people to take care, recruited people locally to clean their house, and at the end of the day, we'll give them their aid money. And in Nepal, this experience is also special as well. Now, I was in the second wave. So at that time, we also had to apply for a temporary doctor's license. So all the doctors who had gotten this permit were taking picture. Now the second wave was only a couple days left, a couple of days after the third wave. So there's a little bit of overlap, but the doctors decided to stay to help with the third wave, and we're able to pass on our knowledge and our experience. And through the time in Nepal, we had a lot of cooperations, a lot of projects with the local hospitals. Like we have surgeries. We even encountered a blackout during surgery, so we had to complete the surgery with flashlights. And we see the twin girls that joining us was a truly remarkable experience, and you can see that even it was even reported in CNN and local newspapers. Now, these are all experiences that enriched my life, even though we were there to just provide care and aid. But in actuality, it is these people, they were giving me the experience, giving me the opportunity to have these realizations, these learning opportunities. Walking among the ruins in Nepal, it has how the eyes of the local the kids there was something I could never forget. Their eyes were so pure, so clear, and they would be a guidance for all of us on the Tzu Chi path. So from here, I'd like to share with you that we learn by doing and grow by giving ourselves. Thank you. So as we see, he is very punctual, very on time. And let's all read this together. We learn by doing and grow by giving of ourselves. As we all know that he has worked about 20 years. He was almost time for retirement to receive his retirement pension. Now, most people would stay until they got a pension, but he didn't because he thought it would be too late because then he will have less time to do what he needed to do. So from there, we can see that how to seize the opportunity. When it's time, we have to take the opportunity. So we see that people in Tzu Chi have the different thought process. As we all know that there's a part of our brain there's a part that's about compassion within our brain. And that is all activated in Tzu Chi volunteers. Now we can see that he is a very diligent student. Even now, he still has a student. Now we don't know that he might have gotten a discount with a student ID. Now even though he has a student ID, he's never gotten any discounts from it. And from here, nowadays, a lot of us are talking about aging, about getting old. Now, someone like him, he is someone that will never age because if you have a thought process that are continuously going forward, your experience is not counted by the years of your age. Even though you may be older, your heart will stay young. So these are the attitudes that we can learn from. And I'm very grateful to have Taichung Tzu Chi Hospital that were joining us. That every year there are 6 speakers that are joining us. So let's give a round of applause for Superintendent Lin for sharing with us.
Now we got some feedback from Cambodia. There's someone online. Say that thank you for your assistance. We also have Sister Shiqing. She also sent a message. This is a message from the Beijing Shijiazhuang. She prays about the host of this book club. She even wrote a poem about today's book club. She's very talented. I'm amazed by the people from China. They have so much positive energy. Sorry, I cannot translate the name. Anyway, I thank you so much for your feedback. The Cambodia volunteers, they always put the Tzu Chi Zhen masters. They listen to her thoughts. Thank you for your wish. This is a message from Hangzhou, China. We have another message from Taipei. They all talk about what they heard from the book club today, how much they were touched by all the speakers. This person, she wrote that she's very she regret that she cannot be at the Cambodia with the volunteers at Cambodia. She's supposed to be there and help them, and she was so touched by all their dedication. We'll talk more later, and we'll share more feedback later. Now, this is the recap from last week. This is our team who wrote all this feedback from week after week. This is from Canada. New York's volunteers have been brave and working hard to help the community during pandemic by promoting vegetarianism, distributing masks to hospital. And this is from the last week's brother Xue Zhi. Share his experience as part of the Tzu Chi International Relief Team for over 30 years. Seeing so many people in hardship make him want to keep giving of himself to help them. And this is a New York's volunteer have been brave and working hard to help the community during pandemic by promoting vegetarianism. Oh, sorry, I spoke a little too fast. This is from the United States. New York's volunteers have been brave and working hard to help the community during the pandemic by promoting vegetarianism. Brother Xi shared his experience as part of the Tzu Chi International Relief Team for over 30 years. And this is from Beijing Brother share how he became Tzu Chi volunteer by joining TIMA. Sister Chen Peiying from Da'ai TV Information Data Department share her experience working with Tzu Chi press team. Entrepreneur volunteer hosts an event to visit the post office staff to promote vegetarianism. And this is about the volunteer at Jordan. And Chris highlight how volunteers are caring and sincere and willing to help each. Let's give everybody a big applause for our feedback team. You guys are great. This is our online feedback from China. This is a place located north part of China. His name is Guan Jian. Brother Guanjian, he is the first brother that became volunteer at that region. He said at this book club, he really opened up his vision. He learned so much from this book club. And the one on the right-hand side, this is the sister Chen Lingjun from Beijing. She mentioned that every time she's came to this book club, she receives a lot of positive energy and she used it toward her volunteer work and she bring it to the society, the community. So this book club really gave her a lot of positive energy so she can put it into her actual volunteer work. And here more feedback from China. Brother Yan Xu and Brother Yu Jianlong. The feedback they mentioned, they talk about all the speakers who came to the book club. They listened carefully and they wrote down all what their thoughts after watching them speak. I really appreciate Brother Yan Xu and Brother Jianlong. Even though you're in China, kind of far from us, but thank you for all your positive energy. And here are some feedbacks from Chongqing volunteer. Sister Zhu Mongyun, she mentioned that she always watched the show, the book club, more than once. And Sister Mongyun, she regretted that during this time she didn't have as much time like before, but she will continue to listen to our book club online. And this is our call out program. We are calling China. This region is called Changzhou. These are the 3 elders at Changzhou. All these volunteers are over 60 years old. Even though they're over 60 years old, but they're dedicated into the environmental protection program. If you ever visit Changzhou, you need to visit all these 3 elders. And this is also the Changzhou city office. And the volunteer are showing students about their volunteer work. And this is a student's feedback. She came to visit this place and she fell in love with it. We want to give the students a house, a home, so they don't feel alone. And whenever they feel sad, they can always come to us and we'll become part of their family. And during the pandemic, the volunteer at Changzhou prepare safety package and deliver to people who are in need. This is the highway toll booth. They bring a lot of care package and give it to those people, those essential workers who are working during the pandemic. When I received this safety package, I feel so warm, even though outside is very cold. And this is the volunteer. They are visiting the factory that's producing the mask. They are making sure the qualities are good. They are cutting the mask to make sure there are 3 layers. They want to make sure they give people the best quality. Some people, they have low income, so by deliver this mask to students whose parents have low income, it gave them a lot of protection during this time. And this is the message from the principal of school. She's very appreciated. Oh, this is one of the person who received all those rice. She was very touched by how much stuff she received. I know you cannot hear me, so I'm going to try to talk to your ears. You can sit down first, and then by the time your number arrives, I will call you. And here are the volunteers bring all those materials: rice, bag of rice, clothes to people who are in need. I'm giving you all the blessing, all the best wish to your house. I'm so happy I'm going to live up to 90 years old. I'm so happy for you. I wish you live up to 100. Yes, I will. This is the conversation between them. Let's share that we all have positive energy with each other. And we're doing call out to the volunteer at Changzhou. Master Shangren, Master Zhenyan, everybody online. Hi, my name is Wu Zhihua. Thank you for giving us the opportunity for us to share. I want to share with you about the Summer of Humanity Camp. This year's August, we have this humanity summer camp for kids that are low income. A lot of those children, it's their first time attending this camp. And they departed at 4 a.m. in the morning and traveled 4 hours to get here just to attend this first summer camp in their life. Many of them were excited the night before and couldn't sleep. You can see after combing their hair, braiding, and changing to camp uniform, the children's mental temperament is completely like a different person. First of all, we let the camper know the origin of Ciji through treasure hunting, 4 great aspiration, and 8 Dharma seals. Volunteer told a story of a pool of blood and 5 cents donation, how the master established a merit society and overcoming difficulties. She shared, although Ciji has grown stronger now, we should always remember those years of collecting money and save them in the bamboo bank not to mention the origin intention of being compassionate and saving people. When it comes to environmental protection, Volunteer talks about the greenhouse effect combined with games to bring camper a real experience. We have a little camper, she's 7 years old. She shared, let's not make Mother Earth angry. When she's angry, the temperature will rise, the glacier will melt, there will be flood, and we will be drowned. If we don't protect Earth, all this disaster will fall on us. We know we can't wait any second. And this is a game. It's called I Have a Baby. Using balloon and putting them into the clothes of the young camper, they can experience the various pregnancy reaction. Especially for a boy, it was hilarious. They couldn't bend their body. They couldn't sit right. Everything's affected. And this is a scene where we watch a short film. They were moved. And this camper say, I used to argue with my mom every day. After returning home, I must restrain myself, speak softly as much as possible, and be grateful to my mother. The vegetable and rice are not easy to come by. Volunteers accompany camper to Da'ai farm and pull out the weeds. It was so hot that day, but we were so excited we just forget about the heat. Before putting on the glove, they plunge into the vegetable garden and pull out weeds with bare hands. Camper shared, today I sweat. My hands and shoes are dirty, but my gratitude is magnified. After understanding the difficulty of farming, campers understand how to cherish food. Volunteer accompany camper to make vegetarian food and let the children cook their meal. And this is the beauty of flowers. They use recycled plastic bottle as flower vase. It's beautiful and safe. Here, camper can come to the environmental protection place and they learn to sort trash, garbage. On the last day of the camp, parents were welcome. Seeing the children's change, everyone couldn't believe their eyes with tears. Camper here performed the sign language song, Kneeling Sheep, expressing gratitude to parents and elders. Campers fall on their knees, holding the cup. They kneel down and offer a cup of tea with sincere heart. They say, I love you to their parents. There's so much tears shared, and they hug each other. And this camper share, this is the first time I've seen my father cry. And I also shed tears when I see him cry. After making a wish, I will honor my parents, protect the environment. This mother share, she say with tear, thanks, Siti, for giving me the strength and courage. I will never live in the darkness anymore. I'm happy and content, full of gratitude. During the 4 days of camp life, Buddhist seeds have been quietly planted in the hearts of children. The children are looking forward to meeting again in the coming years. Here are all the volunteers. They show their compassion. we saw the PowerPoint that how they accompany those campers. We know it doesn't matter where you live, Tzu Chi's love is always there. Thank you so much, Changzhou volunteers. Thank you for, we'll have to thank them for providing the PowerPoint. By doing that, everything is in order, and then we don't have rehearsal, but we're always on time and we understand exactly what they have to say. And let's hear some message from California, a message from Janet Yao. And another feedback from Beijing. We got a message from England. And she's talking about she just saw the doctors speaking earlier. This is a message from China. Instead of writing their feedback, brother Yubao is writing a short poem. If you can, please leave a message. I would love to see your message online. And it's time to look at it, watch a show right now. Do you want some grapes? The grapes are so sweet. And this is a very delicious apple. Wish everybody's safe. Hurry up, we're late. Let's go. Oh my God, my fruits. Where are my fruits? It's on the floor. Let's go, we're late. She can't see. Forget it. Oh, I'm sorry, miss. I picked up all your fruits. Are you okay? Thank you so much. Oh, this is money. I'm sorry that we dropped your fruits. This is a small token for our mistake. Are you Buddha? No, I'm not Buddha. The Buddha will not. I was praying to Buddha and hoping that someone will help me. And here you are. So you're just like Buddha to me. We need to learn the teaching of Buddha compassion, wisdom, and skill. When we have heart, love, and compassion, we will become someone's support. And this is a song about washing hands. I'm sure you heard a couple times. So let's all get up and wash our hands together. And that's follow with me. We'll do this washing hand song together and also exercise your body. When you wash your hand, don't forget to wash the back of your hand. Also massage your finger. Make sure every part of your hands is clean. Don't forget to conserve water. We all have to do good deed. When we have love in your heart, everybody we see will become love. Have you smiled today? The next song is about smiling face that smile like this baby. when you smile, good fortune will come to you. So don't forget to put a smile on your face. I'm so appreciative to our group who bring this dance performance to us. Always brings so much energy. The volunteer for New York say every time when I see this activity come up, I always dance with them. Let me read more feedback. Oh, this is a message from China. They are using Simplify Chinese. I need to learn more because I'm not familiar with the Simplified Chinese. This is a message from Canada. He's talking about the doctor speaker that came earlier. And this is also a feedback about the doctor. This feedback came from Canada. Here's another message from Taoyuan, Taiwan. Oh.
You can tell from the photography. You will see the speaker. This is a speaker 7 years ago, such a young, energetic person. Appreciate the support of the Shize Foundation. He got an award 7 years ago, and he get an award. This is the news from 2016. The Rhythm Monthly have reported subject of the waste food. The speaker is still very young, even after 7 years, 3 years. He's the editor of the Rhythm Monthly right now. That's a round of applause for the main editor of the Rhythm Monthly. After so many years, he still looks the same. His age is frozen many years ago. The people stand beside you are the fans of the Rhythm Monthly. In their hand, they hold the Rhythm Monthly magazine. So our work team extract the artwork of the speaker. And Sister Meiyun give the subject. These two pictures have the instant excitement. So every picture is a very good piece of work. So I'm expecting the exciting speech by Brother Huang. Welcome the Rhythm Monthly magazine's chief editor, Mr. Huang. It's close to noon now. He just saw so many exciting speech. Wonder everybody will enjoy his speech. So the main topic is not about the picture, but how the Rhythm Monthly to edit the thematic photography. Usually the feedback from the reader of the Rhythm magazine, when they open the magazine, they always see some beautiful picture. Let me show you this most recent magazine for this month. What's the goal for this month's Written Monthly? Theme is to show what's the 8 general. The actor for this 8 general, what are they thinking? The magazine will also describe some of the history of the 8 general. The other form is the folk art, face mark art. There are more detail about the 8 general story in Taiwan. They also have this in a big event to represent Taiwan's culture. So there are a lot of improvement. Right now we even have a female general. On this subject, we just want to show you how we edit the magazine, the elements. The 3 principles is text, edit, and photography with the content. Other important things are printing, distribution, and release, and marketing channels. This is the whole process we play our magazine. So magazine production process is edit, image plane, photography, illustration, graphics design, and illustrations, which is the most important. We need to communicate with the artist of the illustration. So we work with a team. And the graphic design and the plate making, printing, and the binding. So it's all done in teamwork. So I shall look at from the photographer's point of view. Right now I'm the chief editor. Sometimes I have to coordinate the team. Sometimes I have to write and sometimes I have to take photos. Why the picture on the Rhythm Monthly are so beautiful? Because in our magazine, we use the thematic photography. For a single news photo, it's more straightforward, but for group picture, it will better illustrate the subject. So this event, we got award. And a lot of worker goes to Southeast Asia, not only men but women go to the Southeast Asia to help take care of the baby or help take care of the household. The subject is very interesting. We need to find people who are doing this. I really appreciate Tzu Chi with the Global Tzu Chi Organization to help us find the characters in Singapore, Malaysia, and Indonesia so that we can move forward with this program with the help of Tzu Chi volunteer. This is an old picture because these are a historical story. So some workers will go back to their home in Guangzhou, Guangdong province, Shunde. So they, the people, they get back to their hometown, build a building. A picture from Malaysia or Vietnam. Because those characters are very aged people, it's hard to see them now. So it's really keep the record of the human history. So we think it's very meaningful for people experience this. We can put into history recording. This character used to work in Southeast Asia and back to China and taken care of by her niece. This is at Singapore. This old lady showed package, show the luggage she used when she come to work in Singapore. So we do the thematic photography. We should plan first. We need to take picture, then we need to present it. So we need to come up a map. So we extend the case and find all the possibilities and shrink down to the area we need to take to help photography. So usually the traditional way we use in Taiwan using logic thinking. So right now we need to break out the old rules. We need to find all the possibilities. So I need to divide the picture subject. So usually when we take pictures, we see some event. We take a lot of picture, but we kind of forget other main points. So for the convenience store case, we focus on where's your lunch table. Maybe it's no longer at home. Maybe it's at the convenience store. The change of lifestyle is worth exploring. People's life in Taiwan. So food safety is an important topic in Taiwan. The subject of the convenience store, first I need to find out what kind of food do they serve? What kind of people goes to the convenience store for lunch? Do they take children there? So we find the convenience store lunch become a new culture because it's a very public space. The student take lunch there. It's a public place, it's very safe. So we also discuss the food supply used to be by my very small stores, while the convenience store has a marketplace. So we check, did a survey to the society. Everybody goes to the convenience store for lunch. It's a so popular event now. because it's so convenient. Everybody goes to the convenience store for the food. The convenience store is 24 hours. So even at midnight, I go there, take the picture. I find close to the Fujian University, there are 4 and 5 convenience stores. Lights are on. So he's thinking if the picture, if there's somebody goes in the convenience store, that would be a very good picture to take. So we can count how many convenience stores on this picture. 4. I remember there are 5 of them. The convenience store take care of those people who have to work very late. I'm going to share another case. It's Mozambique. Every time there's a disaster, we go to on site. So our goal is to go to the site the first time. So we did a report for the Mozambique. I'm one person to cover everything there. I cannot get sleep because time schedule is so tight. I have to take the picture, do the word. Don't even have time to sleep because very tight schedule. So all the people that join the disaster relief mission all have the same kind of experience. I know we have our own way to express the article. Because I have to take care of the editing, photography. I need to print the on-site story to present to the reader. Why when we visit the disaster site after 1 month, the site still not in good order. what's the difficulties they have. So I go to the disaster area. So we go to the epic point of the disaster area. We see their house. Still live in a tent. The mother is sick, and the daughter asks him whether he can help them. Because we need two local volunteers to do the translation. First, we need to describe the historical background of the country. When I look at old picture, they used to be very well developed. Because there used to be a colony. They have their hero. They used to be a very good country. It's hard for me to tell the whole story in a short period of time. I find a typical hotel, which is very old hotel. Later on, because they have the Civil War, now the hotel becomes destroyed. So I asked some volunteer take me to take there to have a visit. When I arrived, somebody checked why am I here. So we just try to understand the situation here. They still don't let us to do a detailed visit. Then they take me to a sister. And the sister let me go up only for 30 minutes. So that's why I can have a deeper report about this hotel. So the whole hotel has many rooms. The homeless people will just pick any empty room and just stay there. Not only describe the disaster, but also we need to tell about the problem they have. They're short of food because of the flood. The field cannot produce enough food for the people there. So they just pick whatever they can get to build their own tent. So this family got 7 people. This is their school. I can give you a quick view of the picture I took. So we have doctor go there from Tzu to help the people there. And help those AIDS patients. So I look at it from a different angle of the people's life over there. I need to go through it fast. Why I want to talk about why right now is a digital age, why people still want to read the paper magazines. I myself also a reader for the digital articles. So if you want to get picture, the content convenient, you can get digital magazine. But if you want to see the 3D type of feeling, you still need a paper magazine. When we do the editing, we try to select the topics for you first. We'll tell you the value proposition of Zhi humanistic. I think it's very good magazine for you to show to your members. So we really feel proud of him. He speaks very fluent but very fast because those pictures are taken by him and the article written by him. So he is a very knowledgeable person. So if we don't know some answer, we can check with the written monthly. They can provide the answer. Time is precious. Read the written monthly. Will help you a lot. I got a friend. He is an entrepreneur. He only read the written monthly. When he talked to his client, he showed a lot of insight he has. Really impressed the people. when Master Zheng, I heard he took a lot of pictures of the convenience store in Taiwan and told him he should go home after 2 a.m. to take a rest. The fans of Rhythm Monthly said every article is very unique. And the art design and the picture is very well arranged in the magazine. Really worth reading. Some fans already subscribed this Rhythm Monthly for over 10 years. Time is precious. Just
okay, next one is our sharing from Chen Xin. This year in June, I received an invitation from Kaohsiung Unity Activity Team to go back to Hualien for live camp, lifestyle camp. So we established all the team and start to work on the whole event. And everything, all the detail are almost finished, but because of the pandemic, so people getting in chaos. So we change our plan. So we decide to change the 3-day camp from in Hualien to 1 day in Kaohsiung as a Junshi humanity feast. When we start kicking off the activity, everyone was very energized, including the welcome at the Dai Plaza, and then the class between the classes, and everyone was so happy. All the attendees are so happy because all the witty words shared by the lecturers, they love and very happy to enjoy. And also our culinary team also give them a very good food and dessert. And all the media team must take care of all the activities into one film at the end. And all our group leader team also working very well. And at the end, our honorary board members came to care for us. And the whole thing is actually cared by the honorary board members. In these activities, of course, there are some tears and some sweat, but in such a class, many people they share what they have learned. And I just happened to have 3 good sisters also join the event. At the end, when I was standing up all the attendees, my the good sisters came to give me a big hug. I didn't know that Chiji's class can be so fun, so energetic. And they love all the sharings from the teachers, from the speakers. And they even cry, they need to have more tissues. they actually learn a lot, and even make a reservation for our next event. I'm so appreciate that all the entrepreneurs can give us the chance to form good affinities with people. I'm so happy that so much love can connect it together and nourish our wisdom life, so we can have a good chance to advance on our Bodhisattva path. Thank you so much. Brothers and sisters, hello. Me and Sister Mei Hui, we were the group leader team. We wish to make some change. Sister Mei Hui mindfully find a beautiful handbag, so we planning to do a gold stamp on the bag for all the names of the events, and then date, and then all the names of everyone, so people can have a good memory. Bring the bag back. And also Sister Mei Hui also on the same day that we give them the clothes, that we can do some tailoring for them, so the attendees will be very fit in their uniforms. So they like it very much. So this is about the instruction from our master. Say we need to be patient and love to our attendees. So this time we prepare two team leaders in each team, so that we have more care for the attendees. So we find many young people to join us as the team leaders. We hope they can learn from this activity. The young people can gain the chance to learn. And I also can see that our young generations from Shiji, I'm very happy to see that. Master always tells us we must seize the opportunity to form good affinity with people. After I take this responsibility, I found so many good old friends and make acquaintance to many people too, and making a very good affinities with people. We really hope that we can learn from doing. So very quickly we prepared everything, but because of the pandemic, the 3-day camp was changed to one sad. But then we have to move on. So our team leaders notify all our attendees to say, okay, we changed from 3 days to 1 day, so they all can understand. Even though somebody, because of the time factors, they cannot come, but we have planned very early, so we have plenty of people to do the whole job. So that day has completed in a very harmonious atmosphere. I remember 8 years ago when I first time joined the lifestyle camp, I wrote down in my notebook, say, we have to take the responsibility of our conditions. and we need to learn from doing and then awaken from learning. I learned that everything we do, we must join ourselves. Only by doing ourselves that we can learn by doing and then awaken from learning. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Our entrepreneurs actually can make their effort, in time. So we appreciate them, their effort for that feast event. Originally it was 3 days. Now it suddenly changed to 1 day. So all the team members and the staff are all the same. Yeah, they were very good at taking the changes of the status. Next event will be for Taipei, and we will be there to learn and to give them this chance to do the feast again in Taipei. When entrepreneurs meet Jinsi, there are 5 weeks of this event. Thank you so much for the event. Next subject will be the one from last month, because we had another fundraising activities. So now they are shifted to this month.
Oh, 对不起. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so next is from the translation team. The sister Xie Mingxun is going to share with us her story, how she involved in the translation. And ever since 10 years ago, when she was certified as a commissioner, actually, she make a vow to help translating the water repentance to Japanese. And ever since, because the encouragement from Master Chen Yan, actually, she actually her company also helped translate to many more other languages, especially for the promotion of vegetarianism. So through here that um, about to promote vegetarianism, that they translated to this card to more than 20 languages. And also they actually also record the voice of different languages. This is a recent translation of Dr. Dr. Lin Changhong, our superintendent, actually the medical missions executive CEO, about his promotion of being a vegetarian. And next, I will invite one of our colleagues. She helped organize a seminar for our multi-language translation team, seminar for them. I'm the coordinator for that seminar. And in the beginning, that we heard that there are many translation volunteers, but they do not have formal training on translation, and that's why we help coordinate this seminar to share them how to do translation. And first, we actually invited a teacher, Tsai. She has 20 years experience in translating, and she summarized that there are three pillars of interpreting training. First is the language skill, second, background knowledge, and then the third, the translation skill. And actually, you can leverage some kind of note-taking, quick note-taking to help you with interpretation. Yeah, there are different kinds of application of the interpretation. And one thing that we got from the feedback was that how to practice the translation. It's been very useful. Yeah, and sorry for being crunch of time that we need to do it quick. And hi, I'm the editor for our English contents. My name is Chen Juying. Yeah, and thanks. It's not just me. It's a great team working together to read and then reply to the English content. And because of reading the feedback of English contents, we get to know a lot about what different volunteers doing in different parts of the world. I really appreciate all the assistance from many volunteers. I was really glad that I was a part of the team to seeing Master in the abode, and that and then I really like the vegetarian meal that the abode masters cooked for us. I feel very delighted. So I also enjoy coming here and then participating in this book study. Yeah, so I'm basically responding to the different English messages posted. So, so she asked her to translate into Chinese. Sister Mei said that her Chinese skill is not very good. I was reading some feedbacks from English feedbacks from Facebook. Actually, Sister Xie is very, very strong in Japanese. They did a lot of work. And if you see different language translation, it's mostly from her company. So when we went to different part of the world, a lot of different language translation. Yeah, we leverage a lot of great efforts from her company. So both of the young people are actually working in her company. Thank you for their participation and help. Because of the time crunch that now is some promotion of some food product from the abode. A different kind. Mm-hmm. And finally, let's encourage each other. And next week, we'll be calling out to Singapore. Also some volunteer from China. So we'll have Yang Changhong brother to come share. On the 23rd of December, we'll have Chen Zhuqi, one of our anchor in Dai TV. So on the 30th, will celebrate the New Year. So we have a lot of promotion material prepared, even for the event in June next year. So we are preparing. So on the January 6th, we have 2 doctors come share. So there are a lot more event and speaker planned. So do anticipate. Yeah, it's good to have you joining us. Let's stand up and pray. 3 bows. First bow. Second bow. Third bow. Yeah, let's just say goodbye to Master and then above Masters in the above. Okay, thank you so much.